Hello, gorgeous people. I hope you're having a great Friday and that it's been a lovely week for you. Obviously, still lots kind of going on in the world at the moment, and I do genuinely send you all loads of love and hope that things are going as best as possible for you at this time as well. Good morning, good morning. Lovely to have you on here, Carly, and I am going to need to put my glasses on. Hey, Drea, great to have you on. Hey, Sandra, lovely to see you on here. Hey, Lynn, lovely to have you on. So nice to have so many people jumping on. And as always, guys, like if you have any particular questions as well, I'll be diving into the topic quite soon. Hey, Janine, lovely to have you on as well. As always, please make sure that you drop a comment or ask any questions as well. Because this is a really, really, really important topic, and it's something that will be determining what you allow yourself to receive. It determines how well that you show up for yourself, what you allow yourself to have. Thank you so much for the love. That's so beautiful. Hey, Denise, lovely to have you on here as well too, darling. It determines so much about the success that you allow yourself to have, what you believe around money, what you'll have in relationships, the people that you'll associate yourself with, or allow yourself to, to flourish and be nurtured by, how you receive, what your health is like, how well you take care of your health. Hey, Erica, lovely to have you on as well. So this impacts literally every single area of your life. It determines what you allow yourself to have and receive, what you don't allow yourself to have and receive, all of these things. And what this one key thing is that is running your entire life is your identity. And your identity is kind of like co-created and not always consciously. So often, and this is why it's very important to actually go through and actually make sure if we are not getting the results that we want in life, or things aren't showing up in a way that we want, then this is one of the first areas that we actually have to look at and examine. Hey Tracy, lovely to have you on, and totally okay. Erica, you have a great day, darling. Thanks for jumping on and saying good morning. And you have a great day as well. Because this one particular key area, like I was saying, it will determine so much, but so much of this has been definitely co-created. We are imprinted and conditioned from a very young age on who we believe that we are, and often that is unfiltered messages. Remember, from 0 to 7, we do not have an analytical mind that stops to question what are the messages that I'm actually receiving. So a lot of our identity is actually initially taken in through the hypnotic messages of the people around us. So it's really important to be discerning, and to actually, when you bump up against stuff, or you're like, oh, I'm finding it really difficult to receive, or oh, I don't feel like I'm lovable enough, or oh, I don't feel like I'm enough, or I feel like I've got to keep overgiving, or like there's all sorts of different ways that obviously these identities, and we can have some really positive attributes in our identity as well. For me, one of my core truths is I believe that I'm truly loving, and so again, that keeps me in check. There's certain behaviors and certain things that I won't do because they wouldn't align with that congruency of who I believe that I am. And sometimes that can be quite challenging as well, and can also show up in the good girl paradigm, or needing to please others, or needing to put others' needs first. And so we need to question what is truly healthy, what is truly going to serve us, what's truly life affirming, what's truly supportive for us. Good morning, Christy. Great to have you on, hun. All of those things. Now, if we are not taking the time to consciously choose our identity and upgrade our beliefs. So the identity encompasses not only all of those co-creative kind of imprints or conditioning that we've got, and this is on an epigenetic level as well. It's also imprinted in your cell's DNA through protein codes from your family lineage as well. So often we can actually end up with certain traits or certain characteristics that have been handed down to us generationally, and that's where really getting conscious about this stuff and really consciously deciding, who do I choose to be and how do I choose to show up? And if I was already being this person, what would I believe? What would I be doing? Like, all of these things are so important to be choosing consciously, because if we're not, if we are we have an identity that's actually really harmful to us or not resourceful. So in terms of, hey Josh, great to have you on this morning. If we have an identity that doesn't serve us, so in terms of feeling like we're not enough, or that, you know, things will always just go wrong for us, or you know, we feel like we're not lovable enough, or we're not valued, or we're not appreciated, or like, and we will look for the evidence, collect evidence to support those thoughts, which then become further truths or further beliefs. And again, our beliefs are nothing more than stacked thoughts or stacked beliefs that we've had for such a long time. We've collected enough evidence around that to try and support that belief, which then becomes rock solid, because the more that you look for the evidence and find the evidence, we again will look, whatever we look for, we'll find. So whether it's negative or positive in this respect. So if we don't have a resourceful identity, so an identity that helps us win, an identity that helps us feel a sense of love, a sense of happiness, a sense of fulfillment, all these things, it's so imperative, guys, because otherwise you're going to end up losing drive. Like, if you become even disassociated with actually who you are, and quite a few of my clients come to me sometimes and go, like, I just feel like I've lost myself. And there's a very specific reason around that, which goes into human design. And also sometimes when we're so open to what everybody else's needs are around us, sometimes we can become so consumed or so enmeshed with what's going on for everybody else that it's hard to discern, hey, who am I, or what's actually right, or what's correct for me. So again, like, getting clear on this identity stuff is 100% really important, because if we're not, you know, you will lose that drive, you'll lose that motivation, you'll kind of be like, oh, why am I even bothering with this? Like, what's the point? We can feel quite robotic when we're going into perhaps doing things in our life, so it feels like we're just ticking off the list. And that feels empty and quite meaningless. And for any of you that are, you know, A-type achievers or high performers, like to kind of push things through to the limit, it will not allow you to tap into the deeper emotional fuel of that heart-centered reason why. And that's really a challenging place to be in, and you will burn out very quickly from that particular space, because you're trying to push things or trying to get things done just through ticking off that list or having it done, but it's actually quite purposeless and quite meaningless. And Viktor Frankl wrote a brilliant book, which is The Man's Search for Meaning, and I definitely suggest having a read of that. It can be quite confronting in parts. It was about his journey through an Auschwitz camp in which he lost all of his family, but what he recognized, that unless man has a deeper meaning that we're applying to things or to life, which again goes back to our identity, what am I making this mean, is you know, will become lost. And for him, he was a psychologist before he actually got put in the Auschwitz camp, and he could see very clearly that the people that survived that event were the ones that could find deeper meaning in it somehow, in some way. Good morning, beautiful Helen, lovely to have you on here as well too, hun. So again, you know, life, we want that emotional juice. We want life to feel amazing. We want to bring purpose and deeper meaning, because it provides the emotional fuel in order to go out and to do the things and to feel fulfilled whilst we're doing the things. It's nothing worse than doing something from a place of, I've just got to get it done. And so you know, when we've got a strong and powerful identity attached to who we actually are, again, that will alleviate you from spinning on the spot. You'll have clarity, because you'll be clear not in only who you are, but what you're here to do. What is your greatest purpose? What is your greatest priorities? It provides so much clarity. You guys have often heard me speak about having that clear windscreen, because if you're driving with a muddy windscreen, like, you can't go forward very fast. It's pretty scary, right? Because you can't see anything. So you become quite nervous, or you might just feel like, I can't even get started on my journey because I haven't got the clarity. So knowing the right actions to take will put you in greater alignment than in being able to move forward in this really super powerful way. So again, like I was saying, like without this, we become quite stressed. We might feel pulled in multiple directions as well, which again feels exhausting, has you burning out, spinning on the spot, feeling like, why am I even doing this? Why bother with this? All of those things as well. So really getting in touch with that deeper identity. And another thing to be really acutely aware of, and particularly in today's times that we're experiencing at the moment, more so than ever before, sometimes we attach things, external things, like a house or a job or a relationship to our identity. And so when that drops away, it can make us wobble in our identity. It can make us really question who we are. If you've ever lost a loved one, often it can present very, very deep questions to us. You know, what is life about? What am I about? All of those things. But I would challenge you, you know, not to wait until you get to a pivotal moment in your life. You need to be getting really resourceful around what that identity is, and you get to choose who you wish to create, how you wish to show up in the world, and challenge those beliefs, challenge those thoughts, challenge those ideas, and particularly your self-talk, if it is not currently getting you to where you want to get to. Because often we become so consumed by the automatic programming or by the conditioning or by the imprinting that we believe that it's us. And it's actually not the real you. Often it's these ego layers, these ego masks. It's like putting on layers and layers of jackets. And it's not until you kind of like, and it can be scary to do that, like where you're standing naked in the mirror going, oh my God, yes, this is the real me. And it can be really scared to be seen at that level, to be seen in that raw nakedness of who we are. Often it can feel safe. And I had the realization, I remember, like, this was years before like I did any form of kind of personal development work, but I remember driving home. I think I was about 18 or 19, and I was driving home at the time. My commute was about half an hour, and I was pondering this thought of like, why do we do that? Like, why do we show up, or why do we pretend to be someone or something other than who we actually are, when we're kind of like doing it consciously or unconsciously, thinking it's what other people need us to be or what other people wanted us to be, but we actually don't even know that that's what they actually want us to be. And I remember thinking of the ludicrousy of why we actually do that as humans, and it really made me kind of like question stuff, and really look at like why I was kind of doing those things, like saying yes when I actually really didn't want to be doing something, or just being inauthentic sometimes in that, because we were scared of getting rejected or scared of not being accepted. Remember, that is our biggest hardwiring, and what makes it the biggest challenge as humans is that deeper need to be accepted and loved for who we are. And there'll be tribal beliefs, there will be community beliefs, there's societal beliefs, and it feels very scary to push against those or to go in a different direction to those. And yet it is the independent thinkers of our society that create the disruption, that create the radical change, that create the shifts, that go, hang on a second, why are we still living this way? Or why aren't we changing this particular thing? Like years ago, you know, there's so many different things that society used to believe that now we're in complete opposition to. And I think it's very healthy to be independently challenging all of those imprinting or the mass consciousness beliefs that sometimes come in, or the generational beliefs that can come in as well. So good morning, Beck. Lovely to have you on here. And that's great, Lynn. Love that it's resonating for you. Hey, Leanne, lovely to have you on. And Danielle, a huge good morning to you as well too. So and hey Nick, great to have you on here. I hope you're doing really well. So important, guys, like to really understand where all this imprinting, where this conditioning, not so much where it's actually come from, because like it comes in so many different ways, and really question, is this belief actually serving me? Is this identity actually currently serving me? Or if you're going to upgrade your identity, just like we upgrade our phone and put in, you know, the next new iOS system, which sometimes has bugs in it, right? Everything sometimes has bugs and needs to be tweaked. So it's like, oh, this would actually really serve me, but hang on, oh, I'm still bumping up against some challenges here. Okay, let me have a look at this at the deeper level as well. So yeah, absolutely, we do it to be accepted. And that is 100% key, Leanne, 100% agree, because this is our greatest conflict as humans, is wanting to be accepted by the external, by others, by our relationships, because we are hardwired for that stuff as babies. It's part of our conditioning, it's part of our survival strategy, because if we do not fit in, if we're not accepted as babies, it threatens our very survival. So that stuff's hardwired in. That is our ego survival mind. It's not that I'm against our ego survival mind. In fact, I found the more that I loved that, cherished that, supported that, reassured that aspect of myself, it no longer needed to run the show, because often that's our 2 or 3 year old or 5 year old self that was longing to be accepted or longing to be loved in that moment, that's reactive to maybe somebody that's questioning, hey, why are you doing it like that? Or hey, why are you living like that? Or all of those things. So definitely we are hardwired to fit in, to belong, to be accepted, and this is the conflict, this is the conundrum of being human, which is so perfect because how would we expand and grow, right? Like if it was all just perfectly perfect. Hey Mel, lovely to have you on. Hey Naomi, lovely to have you on as well. And Katie, lovely to see you on here as well, hun. The biggest conflict that we have is wanting to express our uniqueness, wanting to be that that person that we are, the authentic version of ourselves, that unique individual that has only like we're as unique as snowflakes. Like there is, and since diving into the world of human design as well, I can see so clearly that we are so individual through our different design gates, and there's just so much there as well, which is so powerful. But like you only have to look at somebody that's had different life experiences, and some of those are just like putting on a different pair of glasses, right? We see the world through a different model, or we see the world through a different lens or a different filtering system because of those experiences, because of our life path, and nobody else can actually get that journey. Sometimes we have a deep longing, and I know certainly when I was moving through a hard time in my life, and a deep longing that other people know what it was like it was just like, nobody gets me, nobody gets how hard it is, right? That was my victim self, my self-pity, my woe is me, my life is really difficult. And it's not to say we can't have moments like that, we're all human, and it was a really particularly difficult stage of my life, and it was ridiculous for me, I see that now, to want somebody to get what I was actually going through, because in effect nobody actually really can. Yes, people can empathize and people might have similar experiences, but nobody has actually walked all of the steps in your shoes, so nobody actually really can deeply understand that. And it's kind of like one of those challenges that we can have as humans in wanting to connect, wanting to relate, wanting to understand each other, or to be understood. And yet we have to be okay with understanding ourselves, accepting ourselves, loving ourselves, and that's where we're called to at that greatest level. And that was certainly, good morning Marguerite, lovely to have you on, hun. Certainly what a lot of my life challenges initially, like as I moved through some pretty big moments, really taught me was everything that I was seeking from the external. I actually had that from within, and it was about learning how to love myself, learning how to accept myself. And from that place then, and Maya Angelou has a beautiful quote which I might go find after I've done this video, and I'll pop it in the comment section below, about belonging. It's like we don't belong any place, and we belong every place, because in the moment that we try to belong to someone, so we change who we are in order to belong in a group, in a tribe, in a community, with a particular person, we abandon ourselves in the process. And that's where the inner child really kind of gets freaked out, becomes quite reactive, or then we might blame others or blame different situations and circumstances as well. So it is that conundrum, it is that conflict that we have as humans, to express ourselves from that unique perspective of who we are, what we're here to do, what brings us joy, what lights our heart up, what's right and correct for us, and the need to fit in, belong, and be accepted. And in my experience, the more self-love that I can bring, the more connection to myself. For me, that's through divinity, through spirituality. That's where I feel truly, truly connected. But for somebody else, that might be just, the greatest part of who you are. When you feel deeply connected with that, you feel deeply secure in yourself, and therefore aren't looking for acceptance from others, which means that you naturally take yourself into situations where the acceptance is already there. You naturally attract people into your life that will accept you, that support you, that love you for who you are, because you're reflecting that for yourself first and foremost. So it's super powerful. Good morning, Jen. Lovely to have you on. So identity, guys, is the most important piece here. Whatever you believe to be true, you will be creating through your thoughts and your feelings, and therefore your actions or inactions. And so identity literally is what is running your life, either consciously or unconsciously. If you do not like the way that your life is turning out at the moment, I would challenge you to look at what is the identity that you've created for yourself. What is it that you're believing about yourself right now that is no longer serving you? What are the beliefs that, if it's there's a belief it's a struggle to get money, or it's hard to make money, or I have to work really hard in order to deserve money. I'm just using money as an example. Or, it's really hard to lose weight, or it's really hard to have a great relationship. Of course, you're going to keep creating those same experiences, and you're going to attract people into that situation that are representative of that belief. So in order for things to shift and change, we have to question our beliefs, have to question our identity, get super clear, do an upgrade, do an an iOS upgrade, system upgrade. What would the next level version of me show up like? What would I need to believe in order to be able to create what it is that I'm wanting moving forward? Good morning, Nat. Lovely to have you on. And how do I now show up? What actions do I now take as a result of that as well? Sometimes this can be really difficult to do because often we have those unconscious or blind spots, which certainly, Dr. Joe talks about, Dr. Joe Dispenza, who I absolutely love and is certainly one of my greatest mentors. He talks about being in the glass jar. And the glass jar is difficult because it's like one of those blind spots, right? Like you're in the glass jar, which means you are limited by that belief or thought. And sometimes we don't even know that we're in that glass jar. You are in an action or you're in a reaction around something. You're just doing what you do very unconsciously. You can't see that you're in the glass jar because you're looking out at the world going, oh yeah, no, everything's fine, not realizing you're bumping up against those signs, you're bumping up against those beliefs, which are holding you back and limiting you. Yet everybody else can kind of read the label that's on the glass jar and can see kind of what's happening for you as well. And so that's where we all have those blind spots as humans. It's why I continue to invest in mentoring and coaching, and doing deeper dive mindsets, because I know other people can see stuff going on for me that will help me grow, that will help me expand, that I sometimes can't always see for myself as well. And I'm very passionate about investing in that for myself. It has literally taken me from earning $20,000 to $40,000 per year to be creating a really healthy six-figure income business. My whole entire life has changed as a result of me changing my identity. I had pretty shitty identity there at one point, of feeling not lovable, not worthy, not enough, feeling fat and ugly, and believing all of that to be true, and really anchoring in some really difficult experiences and what I was making those experiences mean. And attaching that to my identity as well, which was very much a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, and certainly wasn't the mindset that I needed in order to move forward and create the next level version of my life. And I've done continual upgrades over the last 10 years, so it is a work in progress, guys. We have great benefit of continuing to upgrade, up level, and continuing to expand and grow, and there's true joy in that, certainly for myself, not from a place of I'm not enough already, but from that place of, hey, I get to grow, I get to be more, I get to show up more, I get to serve at a greater level, I get to help or contribute at a greater level, and I get to be the fullest expression, the fullest freedom of who I actually am, which is the greatest joy, I think. Hey Jess, great to have you on as well. So have an amazing day, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for jumping on. For anybody that's just jumped on now, you may wish to jump back to the start and just watch the replay. So important. key piece is your identity, what you believe to be true about you, what you're attaching. And if you know that this needs some serious upgrading, I have an incredible program that I'm launching, which I'm really, really excited about. Please make sure you send me a PM. Let's have a conversation, see if and how I may be able to help you, or if it could be a good fit for you as well, in really helping you move forward in a powerful way, and loving on yourself, getting clear on who you really are and what you're really here to do in the world is one of the most powerful things that we can give to ourselves as well. So have an amazing day, guys. Loads of love. And as always, if this has been beneficial for you, please like, love, or share it with anybody that you think that it may serve. And as always, tons of gratitude to you all for tuning in and watching. Have an amazing day. Lots of blessings to you. Bye.